One autumn evening, cold winds crept towards the amusement park like a timid ghost. As colorful lights cast flickering beams, the park seemed shrouded in an eerie silence. It held a hidden threat behind the smiling faces that night. The young and curious Melissa decided to go to the amusement park with determined steps. The group advanced towards the carousel's entrance. However, Melissa's attention was drawn to a figure hunched in a corner. The dark silhouette belonged to a child. Holding a balloon shaped like a flying bird, the child turned its half-darkened face towards Melissa, its eyes breathless, struggling against the whirl. They managed to free themselves from the maddening carousel. When they stepped outside, everything abruptly stopped. The amusement park fell into silence. Only the rustling of the wind could be heard. When they looked back, the carousel was motionless. The W. Detective Martin was renowned for solving mysterious cases. One night he received a cryptic phone call. A trembling voice on the other end said, "Help," and the call abruptly ended. Detective Martin immediately set off to the given address. At midnight, he stood in front of a gloomy place to be. Determined, Detective Martin ventured down the corridor. His footsteps illuminated the ghostly figures in the antique paintings on the walls. He pushed open the door at the end of the corridor and entered the room. The room was filled with the chilling breath of cold air. His eyes began to scan since that day. The ghost of that moment haunted Detective Martin's mind. The image of the shadow and the constellation of mirrors never left him. Despite his attempts to unravel the mystery, he had confronted the dark enigmas of that night and his own fears, and now he couldn't muster the courage to. Once bustling with life, the hospital now stood surrounded by silence and abandonment. The walls, which had once witnessed years of service, were now covered in peeling paint and crumbling plaster. At night, strange sounds echoed through the building, hinting at another existence. On a gloomy night, Emily's heart began to race. She wavered between excitement and fear. Suddenly, she heard a faint rustle behind a door. Curiosity led her to the door, and she peered inside. The room was filled with old beds and a crumbling ceiling. What had once been a place for patients to rest had now turned into, "Help me, I'm trapped here," she said in a faint voice. Emily's heart was pounding rapidly. Her own lifeless body was asking for help as she panicked and withdrew. The morgue's door closed and locked. Since that day, Emily was trapped with the spirits of the hospital. She lived in the abandoned